Nah. They're both very sleepy.
You think?
Nah. How's Magnus's hair situation? It's still under control, but it could, it could go to Baden-Baden 2017 standards in like 2 months, but probably it won't happen, right?
Yeah, I think. No, but that was just some kind of a hair product mishap, wasn't it?
I'm not quite sure. He kept claiming he had a plan, and then he went to the spa, and it all went well. That's when the birds started moving into his hair, but I think he was planning to go man bun, and then he was talked out of it.
D4, G6.
As you do. Thinks he needs a win.
Well, I don't think he is that bad at math. Only one guy can catch him up on 5 out of 8 if he makes a draw, and that will be a tie for 5th. So yeah, I don't think. I think he's playing Hikaru, and that has been a very, very long-standing rivalry. And
there's always some.
And he is just not playing this game for a draw. Well, unless there are some forced draws here.
This is a forced draw. There are some, at least here.
Yeah, there are some. There are some in existence. Whether they
lines of my childhood.
No,
I don't think this is the best forced draw.
Yeah,
but forced draw it is. Anyway.
Yeah, Magnus went with something else altogether.
Yeah, bishop b5 is supposed to be better.
Yeah, this is a complicated, but I think they start with h5 here in the position they have. Yeah, knight b5, queen a5, check blade, cd4, knight d4.
Yeah, and here there's bishop d4 or h5 is the most common.
Yeah, he took on f7, which is slightly surprising to me, but also obviously very playable because queen g4, bishop d4, you just trade. Yeah, these are strategically complicated positions. I thought you were supposed to give up this bishop for the knight on d4, and the knight on g4 was supposed to stay alive, but he's doing it differently.
Daniel97 is asking, wait, so what's the significance of this Blitz tournament besides the money? I'm not sure there's any money, first of all. Secondly, it is to determine what starting number you get in the classical tournament, and the starting number translates to more whites or blacks. It's a 10-player tournament, so it's 9 rounds, and that means you get either 5 white games or 4 white games. And it's a competitive advantage of 5 white games. So the first 5 top finishers in this Blitz tournament get an extra white normally. That's what they're playing for.
I'm not sure if this was required, but I quite like what Magnus got out of the opening here. He can go bishop b6 right now.
He probably knows these things. He's played the Pierts enough in classical games that he will actually be booked up.
Yeah, bishop b6, and structurally black is just favored here because he has this semi-open g-file to put pressure on the g2 pawn. If it ever gets to g3, you start undermining it with h5 and h4. It's just a very nice, solid position for black. And he goes knight d7 as well, reminding Hikaru that there's this e4 square he can name his knight towards. And I think Hikaru, more than anything else, wants to trade these bishops off. If the bishops come off, a white situation becomes immediately somewhat improved.
But anyway, it's better here. It's black, no?
Yeah. No, it's definitely somewhat better for black. The question is how much. You go bishop b3. Yeah, already played by Hikaru. And now the question is, if you take it, becomes slightly more difficult for black to push, because also knight d5 will be a threat, taking additional light pieces off the board potentially. But bishop a5, bishop d4 is also not very attractive. Black is sort of one tempo away here. If after bishop a5, bishop d4, I could take on c3 and go knight e4. I'd be in clover, but yeah, rook is not on g8 yet. Which kind of begs the question whether he could include rook g8, g3 at some point, and didn't. Yeah, bishops came off. Yeah, you'd like to go rook c8, c5 here, but once again, you're one tempo short.
Rook c8, knight d5, or what's happening?
Yeah, knight d5. There is knight e4 there. So maybe it's not that horrible, because
g4 e6.
g4 e6 seems to be okay for black. Also, once again, you can always play rook g8, g3. Start by playing rook g8, g3, and then go rook c8, so that there's not even a possibility of white ever playing g4 in those positions.
Daniel97 is saying the website said 11.6k euro price fund for Blitz. I might be wrong about this. It's very possible. Like, I haven't looked into it. Like, typically, I'm not sure if they had extra prices for the Blitz tournament. But it was just part of the overall package.
Yeah, not when I played there, but maybe they used to have like something I haven't really encountered since, you know, my junior tournaments. They used to have sort of product prizes Like you'd get I think the top 3 got cell phones the year I played
Oh,
there.
cell phones.
Yeah, but not announced money prizes. I was slightly upset about that, I remember, because I wasn't actually aware there were any prizes, and I secured my whites and didn't really care of just sort of exactly where in the top half I placed, and then I found out that there was something to play for. Yeah, as you do.
Like nice Nokia.
Those are decent headphones. Oh, cell phones.
So this is gonna be a draw?
Well, it's not much. I mean, it's still arguably black playing for a win, but because the e6 pawn is always going to be a target, it's very difficult to get the...
I like what Hikaru's been doing to create this potential.
Yeah, some b6, rook c7 ideas, but mainly the issue for black is that you want to play rook g8, rook dg7, and ask white what are you doing with this weakness on g2, but there's always going to be some kind of rook c3 move which will require black to defend the e6 pawn.
Kayakin Anand has been drawn in the meantime. I think Kayakin was sort of out of contention, and Vishy secures the 5 whites, so very understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, and people in chat saying that he didn't even try to win. Once again, I think, and you know, I'm sort of translating my own experiences to Vishy, which is not really very fair because Vishy is a lot better than me at doing these things. But energy conservation, you know, the more you do these things, the older you become, the more the idea of conserving energy appeals to you. And it feels like this game will be drawn in a moment. Yeah, handshake there. So Hikaru makes a draw. Magnus will qualify.
So they're both in.
Yeah.
Vishy's in.